Hello and welcome back, loves. I'm so happy to be here with you. This is module 2 of your emotional eating masterclass. How great is that? So in module 1, quick recap, we went over kind of the more real life tangible, the physical actions that you're taking around food, right? We started to unpack patterns and tendencies that you might have around food that are making, and feelings that you're having that you're wanting to start to correct, right? And we don't come to this place without the understanding that we want to feel something different. So it's important that we start with the physical things that are happening with you and food, right? Because a lot of the industry likes to put out the idea that you should just be able to willpower it through, right? You should just be able to follow these set of rules and then everything is fine, right? And then when you're not able to live up to that kind of expectation that we set upon ourselves based on what we're seeing in the industry and the environment around us and the world and society, we start to self-judge, right? And that's really what we're looking to heal. We're looking to heal a feeling, an underlying feeling. We're looking to feel a certain way when it comes to food. And when we notice a dichotomy between those two things, that's when all this uncomfortableness, I don't think that's a word, overwhelm and these compulsive feelings, that's when they start to bubble up and really kind of take over, right? But when we can understand those tendencies and those impulses, we can then dive deep and we can peel back the layers and see what's going on underneath all of that to then address and heal, right? And to do that, we need to know what it is we're seeking out. What feelings do you want to feel around food? How do you want to feel with food? How do you want to show up with food? How do you want to show up in your life in general? What are those overlying feelings and like actual realizations in your life that you want? Like, what do you want your life to look like? What do you want your life to feel like? How do you want to go forth and show up in your life? That's really important to understand, because we have to see the difference between where we are and where we want to go. We have to understand the tangibles in order to understand all of the stuff underneath, right? So we'll go into all of the stuff underneath, don't you worry. But first, for this video, I'd like to just walk you through a bit of a visualization. Deal? Deal. Okay, so let's take a couple of deep breaths. Take some water. You drink some water too? Okay, place your hand over your heart and let's just breathe for a minute. Some nice, deep, centering breaths. Close your eyes and just begin to be present with yourself for a moment. Listening to my voice, but nothing else exists except for you, how you feel, and the things that are going to come to your mind. One more. Okay. Hopefully you feel nice and relaxed, in the moment, ready to go on this quest with me. Okay, so you're in your bed. You just woke up. Your sheets, your bed, your house, maybe your partner is next to you. You woke up just as you always do. How do you feel? I'm going to ask you through this a lot. How do you feel? Because it's really important to tap into these emotions. So how do you feel? You wake up on a perfect day, your ideal day. Do you feel empowered? Do you feel motivated? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel like the sky's the limit? You feel so, so worthy of the life that you have, of the body that you have, of the feelings that you're going to feel today, of your possibility. Slowly wake up. Maybe you stretch a little bit while you're in bed. Flip your legs over to the side. Take a minute. Root those feet into the ground. And then you stand up. You're ready for this day. You walk to the bathroom. You do your morning bathroom activities. And you look in the mirror. What do you see? What do you notice about that person that's staring back at you? What strikes you about them? What do you admire about them? What do you appreciate about them? What does their body look like? How do they look like they feel in that body? How do you feel in that body? What does that ideal body look like with those feelings? Those perfect, inspired, confident, in control feelings that you have on your ideal day. What's the body that's attached to that look like? What does it feel like? Really anchor into those feelings. Do they have words? Can you pick a word that feels like it fits that feeling? Maybe it's not quite that mental yet. Maybe you can't put a word on it. That's okay. Feel into it. You're in the kitchen. Do you make some coffee or tea? Maybe you have some water first. What do you do on this ideal day in your ideal body, your ideal feeling body? What do you do when you first walk into the kitchen? Do you have breakfast with your morning beverage? Maybe you wait until a little bit later to have your first meal. Are you thinking about food already? What feeling comes up when you do start thinking about your breakfast? How are you going to break your fast? What do you choose? And why do you choose it? What are those feelings? How does that feel in your body? You start having this meal, this first meal of your day, of your ideal day, when you don't have to feel guilt or shame or compulsivity or lack of control around food. You feel around food the way you dream you would. It's your perfect relationship with food. So what do you choose to have for breakfast? Do you choose something nutritious and filling and vibrant that you know will take you through this day beautifully? Or do you choose something a little bit more indulgent? Do you choose something that satiates some other part of you? Maybe you're not eating for nutrition on this morning, and maybe that's okay. How does that feel? Being able to make whatever choice you want as your breakfast on this perfect day. What does that feel like? What kind of feelings do you have as you finish this meal and you get up from the table? Maybe you have to go off to work. Maybe you don't. Maybe this is a day where you get to lounge around and do the things. Or maybe you run your own business and you get to structure your day the way you want. What does your day look like? How do you feel going into your day after having this first meal? Do you feel inspired and empowered still? Do you feel calm and collected? You go on your day. What kind of people do you interact with, and what are those interactions like? How do you navigate through this perfect day? You're now coming to lunch. Maybe you go out to eat with friends. Maybe you have a meal at home. Maybe you have a meal in your office, or with your kids, or with your spouse. Who are you with? What does that meal feel like? What does it look like? How are you surrounded? What feelings do you feel coming off of other people around how you show up to that meal? You leave the meal, you go on with your day, and finally you arrive to dinner. How do you feel having made the choices that you've made all day, on this ideal day, where you feel the way you want to feel around food? How does your body feel? How does your mind feel? Clear, collected, empowered, motivated? What? You eat that meal in just the manner you would have on that perfect day, with your perfect view of food, your perfect feelings of yourself. How do you go about enjoying that meal? And what is it? You wrap up your day. Maybe you have a nice cup of tea or some more water after dinner, or maybe you have a treat. Maybe you have some ice cream, or you have a cookie or a piece of pie that someone brought over for you. Are you able to enjoy those things? How does it feel to be able to enjoy them? To be able to be so in tune with your body that you know when you're enjoying it and when you're not. You know how to choose the things that you will enjoy and leave the things that you won't. You know how to just have a bite if that's all you want. If that's all that would make you satisfied and maintain that perfect relationship with food. How does that feel to do that? How does it feel to do the things around food that you wish you could, that you long to be able to do? How does it feel to be able to navigate an entire day eating the things and doing the things and being the places without letting those other icky feelings come up? They're not even a thought in your mind. How does that feel? What does that feel like? Can you put a word on it? Now, it's about bedtime. You get into your bedtime attire, you get in your bed, maybe your spouse is there, maybe not. Normal, your bed, your sheets, your house. How do you feel about this day? This perfect, ideal day. What are your feelings? Okay, open your eyes. So those feelings that came up, maybe there were just some words that came across your mind during that exercise. Maybe there were just more feelings. I want you to take out a sheet of paper or your workbook and just write down those feelings. Write down how you felt during that exercise, the words, the concepts, the situations that came up for you. Because those are how you wish to feel around food and in your life. That's the baseline. That's what we're trying to get to. And so it's important to understand coming into all of this, and I know that my theories are a little different from maybe theories that you've heard in the past, because really it's not about the food. It's how you wish to feel and how you wish to navigate your life. And it's just about it's just about reconciling the way you feel now and how you want to feel, the way you feel now and how you want to feel, and bringing that bottom layer up. And you do that through just awareness and understanding your patterns and your habits and those pathways in your brain and habit loops, but really it's about the limiting beliefs that you place on yourselves. So these actions with food are really just a physical manifestation of the way you feel about yourself. And so the more healing that we can do about that, the more you will show up with food in the way that you want to, and you'll be able to pass through those situations and say no, drop the fork when you're not enjoying something anymore, or when those weird feelings start to come up, or you'll be able to go out in social situations and not feel pressured to enjoy things that maybe you don't want to, or have a hard time saying no to those more indulgent, craveful things, and be able to just be kind with yourself. Really, it comes down to just give yourself some grace. So I'm going to cut this off now. I'm going to hop over into Module 3, and in Module 3 we're going to go deep into all of this. But I'd like you just to pause here, take a minute, write down, journal out how it is you want to feel with food. What is your ideal relationship with food? What does that look like tangibly as well as emotionally? And where are you now? And where are the main differences? Okay, and write that all down. And then on to Module 3.